you also get the stuck on stupid people who love to just throw things out. Like, for instance, some idiot named Mikey B goes, "This is the Boule crowd, y'all." Michael, you remember the Boule?
No.
Larry, you remember the Boule?
No, I'm not, Roland.
Cleo, you remember the Boule?
I'll have to preface that with hell no.
Okay, so I am. So dumbass Mikey B, how's this the Boule crowd? I mean, again, what we have to understand is what we have to understand is, and this is critically important. Mm-hmm. There are people in our community who are deliberately spreading misinformation, disinformation. There are people in our community who you can't satisfy anything. They make up stuff. They'll say, "Oh, nothing is ever done," and then this is their new line. But what specifically have they done for black people? And I've actually walked people through. Like, I can't even explain the sheer nonsense of the fools who still running around hollering about an anti-Asian hate bill. I mean,
I see you educating them on social media about that, Roland.
Bro, I'm talking about, like, they literally are walking around going, "But they got a hate crime bill." No, they didn't.
Okay, so let me address that quickly, Roland.
No.
Number one.
No, we don't need to address it. I've already addressed it. It's a lie.
Right.
So I don't need to.
Understand that.
I'm not gonna rehash the bullshit. They got a hate crime bill. It's a lie. They didn't. But what I'm saying is, there are people who's spreading misinformation, and there's no amount of logic you could apply. So sometimes we just got to go ahead and say there's some folk who look like us who just stuck on stupid.
I block a lot of those people who are stuck on stupid. I just block them because I don't have time to argue with them. But what a lot of those people don't talk about is the Emmett Till anti-lynching bill, and this is the first anti-lynching bill in 122 years.
No. You know what they're gonna say? That got no teeth. That means nothing. I mean, again, even when something gets passed, it gets dismissed. And so, I follow a number of different things, and I'm like, so so you finally reach a point where you say, okay, what exactly then do you actually want? And 99.9% of the time, they cannot tell you other than reparations. But then they say, "I ain't gonna vote, but I want reparations," without realizing that the very people you vote for, that's who actually gonna vote on it.
See, it's a circle of stupidity. They keep going round and round in a circle, and they can't tell you how to get what it is that they say that they want. Okay, so the Emmett Till anti-lynching bill, all right, has more teeth than the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act, and the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act only related to, number one, COVID-19 related.
No, but it was only 1 year. Like, here right now, some guy named Justin, you're lying, Roland, and the Emmett Till bill hasn't been passed because Miss Bryant is still walking around.
Some people not only has
like it literally got passed.
See, you don't read. See, Google is free, fool. Learn to use Google.
It ain't that free.
It was passed.
It ain't that free. All right.
Y'all going to stop calling black folks names and calling these people names, man. Because
Cleo, if some folks are dumb, they dumb. If some white folks are dumb, they dumb. Cleo, the man literally said the Emmett Till hate lynching bill didn't get passed. It got passed and signed. Now, damn, what do we call that?
He may confuse that with the George Floyd.
No. That ain't what he said. So, all right, Cleo. No, Cleo, please explain to me if somebody says the Emmett Till bill did not get passed because Carolyn Bryant is still walking around. All right, what do I call that?
Okay, let me interpret that, if I may. First of all, that person is wrong if they think the Emmett Till policy is irrelevant. but they're blinded legitimately.
Cleo, that ain't what he said. He said, no, Cleo. He said, Roland, you're lying. The Teal bill did not get passed.
Okay. Well, no, I heard you say that. I heard you say it, and he's wrong about that. However, let me finish now. You got to let me finish this now. This is deconstructing trauma-laced interpretation of the world through deep cynicism that's justified by personal immediate experience. For example, not everybody is in college. Not everybody cares about college. Now, I'm not one of these people. I'm just translating here, speaking another language. Not everybody looks at the academy, which is predominantly white, even at HBCUs in terms of the curriculum, as a sanctuary for Black power and transformation. So they don't look at supporting HBCUs as a great thing. Now, I'm not saying that's how I feel. I'm saying I understand what they're saying. They're mad about Carolyn, who set up Emmett Till for murder, still being free. And they're too reactionary, but to that horrible situation, to think through a logical lens. And what I said many times, and I'll say it again, that some Black people, and I've actually worked with some of these Black people, need to see in no uncertain terms the blatant ways in which something that's being done is going to help Black people in particular. When you mention the Affordable Care Act, yes, logically that was helpful to Black people, but it was not. Let me finish, because it's going to provoke you because of your logical thinking. It was not called, as it came out of Obama's camp, the Black Affordable Care Act. We want to see.
It was called the goddamn Affordable Care Act.
We want to see things that are blatantly in this racist, anti-Black society. We want to see things that are clearly and blatantly, without question, the affirming of Black people.
Like what? Like what?
Well, for example, when Barack Obama was president of the United States, he only on forced occasions talked in very focused ways in terms of Black struggle.
No, that's a speech. I want to know what specific.
I'm talking about the fact that
Cleo. I want to know what specific policy you want to be framed as explicitly Black. Name it.
Well, I think the Emmett Till policy is explicitly Black.
But they say it didn't pass. And then the critics also say it was irrelevant. They also said it was late, had no teeth.
Right, because we cannot keep beating these people up for being traumatized and upset about what they are going through.
Hold on. Cleo. You mentioned Emmett Till. That's already been passed. Name me something that you want that's explicitly Black to get passed.
Well, you know one thing that explicitly Black that folks won't pass is reparations.
Okay, but how you gonna get? Hold up. But how you gonna get reparations if you don't have the elected officials to get it done?
Well, name an elected official who's talking about reparations and getting it done.
There are literally 217. Hold up, it's a perfect example.
Co-sponsors.
No, it's a perfect example. There are 217 co-sponsors of HR 40. The same folk who yell, they say, no, HR 40 is trash. It's a joke. It ain't good enough. 217. But the same people say that's a joke. It's not good enough. It's not real. So here's my question. If you can't even get HR 40, how you think you gonna get reparations? And here's the other deal, Cleo. If you pull polling data of African Americans, reparations is not in the top 3 or top 5.
And that's because of cynicism.
Hold on.
Because there's a lot of Black people who don't believe it's real. Is that ever going to happen?
But hold up. Answer my question. If you got the folk who even yell that, oh my goodness, HR 40 is a joke, well then tell me then how you think you gonna get something else. Like if you're moving in stages. I've heard Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, the late Congressman John Conyers say, you need to have a study first. You got a commission that's in California, all right? Now, here's the deal. The commission in California can make recommendations. that don't mean the California Assembly is going to pass it. But I'm still asking you the basic question. You got a lot of folk who believe reparations who think HR 40 is trash. Oh, that's a waste of time. So, okay, if you can't even get that, what makes you actually think you're going to get something larger? Do you not move in steps?
Roland, your voting formula and position is true. It's completely true. Most of the logical steps that have been described by all the panelists are true. It's true that the Affordable Care Act was beneficial to Black people, and in theory, and in fact, could have an impact on the reduction of diabetes among Black people. I understand that, and I know that formula is important. I believe that Black people should vote in blocks and become a clear power, both male and female, because we've had a lot of focus on women voting, but men can vote too. And voting is extremely important, particularly as a political strategy for the collective of Black people. I get it. I do it.
So if we're logical, aren't the other folks illogical?
Not necessarily.
Okay, what are they then? Confused? They have a trauma-induced, cynical perspective that and believe that it's all for naught because it's been for naught from their perspective. Particularly, they've been violated. If they experience hospitality, if they experience racism, if they're miserable in this society, if they feel like they're an underclass and irrelevant, and that there's a larger system that teaches them that they're irrelevant, they're too cynical to be logical. Okay, well, guess what? Guess
we
what?
Can't re-traumatize them through name calling. We can't re-traumatize
well, guess what? Okay, the cynical, traumatized people are gonna be sitting on the sideline getting nothing, while the right wing is getting what they're getting, and that's fine. But I can guarantee you this here. I can guarantee you this in my logical, sensible self, and that is this: if you sit your ass at home and not vote, all you doing is making sure that those who do get what they want. And if you decide to sit at home and check out of a process, well, guess what? Shut the hell up. It's just like let me try to be as basic as possible. If me, Cleo, Larry, and Michael are in the car, and I'm running out of gas, and we got to fill up. And if Cleo chip in some money, and Larry chip in some money, and Michael don't chip in no money, I don't want to hear shit about where we going. Because all you doing is riding for free.
You want to roll?
No. I gotta go to a break. I got a guest that's waiting. It's a whole bunch of people who are riding for free, but want to tell you how to drive your car. Want to tell you where to go. And I'm telling you right now, if you are choosing to sit on the sideline and not be engaged in this with all your trauma, all your cynicism, all your anger and everything, all you're going to be is a cynical, angry, upset, traumatized person who's doing nothing about their very situation. And thank God we've had a history of Black people, the same Black people who were traumatized, same Black people who were cynical, the same Black people who were angry, same people who also understood. No, they ain't true, Cleo.
Roland, have you ever met a brilliant human being who went on every night to a domestic violence situation?
Yes.
And you met them, and you knew they were really smart. You knew they were really talented.
Yes.
But they still went home to abuse every night.
And you know what they also did? They left. I've got it in my,
some of them.
Hold up. No. I got it in my family. And the reality is this here. The reality is, for the folk who stay in abusive relationships, then what's going to end up happening is either the light switch is going to go off, or it's going to end in tragedy. And what my job is to help them leave that traumatic situation. But what I'm not going to do is sit here, entertain foolishness, and entertain all the rest of this sort of stuff. And that's what I'm going to do. And so,
but you're not going to make them leave by calling them stupid. They're not going to leave that domestic violence situation.
Actually, as somebody who's had those conversations, sometimes you have to go ahead and go there because every other piece of logic they weren't complying with. And you talk using your example, you talking to somebody who's had those conversations with family members. So yes, I have, and I've had to get through to them. As Cleo. You know, Cleo. You asked me specifically about domestic violence, and I've had to go there with some family members because I tried logic. I tried to be nice. I tried to be cordial and understanding, and finally, I had to go there and get raw with it to get their damn attention. So yes, I've been there. All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment.
We've got to stand up. Republicans are banning abortion rights, tearing down democracy, blocking progress. But when Democrats stand together, we win. Because we voted, Democrats stood up for Black lives, voting to ban police chokeholds, stood up for Black women, putting one on the Supreme Court, stood up for our families, lowering cost of health care and prescriptions and capping insulin, and stood up for millions by slashing student debt. This November, let's stand up together and keep making progress.
This is our time, our moment to move forward, beyond the gun violence, the hospital closures, the unaffordable housing. Brian Kemp's Georgia for the wealthiest few. Stacey Abrams is looking out for every Georgian. She'll invest our $6 billion surplus in the fundamentals, education, healthcare, housing, and a good living, putting more money in your pocket to build one Georgia where everyone has the freedom to thrive.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punches! I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?